Welcome to Global Morning.
The death toll from flooding.
Most time our politicians just bring in policies too, for sure.
Incidentally, we have several more stories.
The legislature was carefully crafted to
22.2% inflation rates as of April this year. What does that say about where we are as a country?
I think Nigeria has resorted to being resilient.
Before you call a police station, before they even leave, they'll take permission from
I don't think there's really anything on ground to improve.
the struggle as to strike.
The Minister of Education volunteered and said, give me 2 weeks.
It was a lie. The president never gave me any deadline.
We're turning our attention to Benue State this morning, where we have heard the last couple of weeks in particular of so much of division and factions within the folds of the ruling All Progressives Congress in our states. We're not hearing that you have vested interest, you have individuals amongst the leadership of the party in the state who are now having factions under them. In fact, we also know that there's a couple of litigations in this regard. Some people are in courts. They've been in and out of courts, but as it stands today, as we speak on the program, these issues have still not been resolved. In what ways exactly are they impacting the leadership of the party in Benue, and in particular, in what ways are they also affecting adversely the governance and the government of that state? Because recall that the APC is the ruling party in Benue, and the governor, as it stands to understand, also has his interest, especially as it has to do with him being able to focus on the job that the good people of that state have elected him to do. We are joined now by Silvanus Okpe. He's a public affairs analyst, someone who can pass as subject matter experts as it has to do with Benue State politics. Welcome to the program this morning.
Thank you for having me, Mr. Oyi.
One would have thought, I mean, this sounds not very realistic, but one would have thought that having a governor in the person of His Excellency Hyacinth Alia, you know, Benue State would be having discussions around factions within its fold, within the APC right now. What exactly are the issues?
You know, this is a party problem which has been prompted by interest, vested interest. Now, let's look at the background of the crisis within the All Progressive Congress in Benue State. It started before the inauguration of the State Assembly leadership. Okay. The election of the principal officers to pilot the affairs of the State Assembly for the next 4 years. There were rumors that the leader of the party before the election, distinguished Senator George Akume, who is the SGF today, had a candidate, Mrs. Becky Opin, whom the party supported and forwarded his name to the State Assembly to occupy the post of the Speaker of the Benue State Assembly in that election. Again, the governor had an interest in the present Speaker, Hyacinth Dajo. That was where the issue started. His namesake, from the same place. And again, you would know the fears of governors in leaving the leadership of the State Assembly in the hands of others. They want to control the State Assembly.
People whose loyalty they are not sure.
Yes, they want to control the State Assembly, because if the State Assembly is controlled by another person, you tend to dance to the tune of the person often. Because any small thing, they threaten with impeachment and the rest. So that was the genesis of the crisis. And we didn't know it would degenerate, but it has come to this stage. There was a time we had factions. This person laid claim to the chairmanship position of the party. There was an Omakolo time. But the good thing is that the National Working Committee, in its wisdom, has dissolved the state ESCO, the Osdagada-led state ESCO, and now nominated a 7-man committee. And the 7-man committee, as we understand, is a unity committee. The leader of the party in the state, executive governor of Benue State, Reverend Father Dr. Hyacinth Alia, made nominations into the committee. The secretary to the government of the federation, distinguished Senator George Akume, the leader of the other faction, also made nomination into the unity list. That is the caretaker committee. But it is unfortunate that after these efforts of the National Working Committee, we are still hearing of squabbles, court cases, and the rest. This does not augur well for the internal democracy of the state. And to even say the least, we are surprised by the action of these people who are bent on distracting the government.
Whose actions are also actually surprising the people of Benue, including yourself? Is it actions by the governor or by Senator George Akume?
We cannot. Senator George Akume has not come out to say this is this, this is that, but rather the former state chairman of the APC,
right,
Austin Agada, his actions surprised all of us.
But he says he has a court order that has restrained the party or even individuals within the party from dissolving his own ESCO until it cycles out his tenure. Is that not fair enough? I mean, a court order.
You know, this is the matter, as you rightly noted earlier, is before the court. And,
so we don't want to go into that.
I don't want to go into the details, but the party, the NWC of the party, is embedded with the inherent powers to enforce internal democracy in any component part of the party, in any state.
Regardless of whether there's a court order or not?
No, not against the court order. I don't know the circumstances behind court order or no court order. So I will not talk on that. I'm just talking about the power of the NWC to maintain internal democracy, because this is beginning to rob the party. Do not forget that in 2018, internal democracy like this made us to lose the governor. Governor Samuel Oton was a member of elected by under the platform of APC in 2015.
But then he defected.
He defected with a mandate and won a re-election in 2019 under PDP. We were in the opposition for long. So concerned APC members in Benue, like myself, are of the view that we allow the sleeping dog lie before we chase away this governor. And people of Benue will soon stone the party if this governor leaves.
Why would they do that?
The first time in the history of Benue, since the return of democracy in 1999, a governor is consistently paying salaries from 22nd people. Like now, people will say salary is not an achievement. We in Benue, with the situations we've experienced in the past, it has made salary payment to be a big achievement for us. If you have parents who are civil servants and they cannot even feed, you hustle and you still send money to them. If you see people who need to treat common malaria and they cannot afford it because they are not paid, you begin to understand why we are celebrating this governor. That is now paying consistent. We see people die of as little as any little illness could kill anybody because they cannot afford the most basic medical care.
But is it correct? Is it appropriate? So is it factual today to say that Governor Alia is at loggerheads with Senator George Akume?
The two leaders have appeared in the public, in the media. They have said, you know, there have been interventions by even the Totif. But, you know, this is not something that is not obtainable. It's not an impossibility in a democracy. People squabble for space. The essence of politics is relevance. If you are not relevant, you cannot say you are a good politician. So it is true that there might be contesting positions, like there might be interests. This one wants to control the party, this one wants to control social things. It is obtainable in every democracy. So it's a healthy one. It will help to boost our democracy. The only problem we are having with this squabble is that it's beginning to distract the governor. This is the first time we have a governor paying salary, working and doing every other thing in the state. In fact, Benue is no longer in the news for bad governance. During our time when we are owed, civil servant, we are owed many months. But now we are in the news for prompt payment of salary. We are in the news. Every day they are constructing roads and there are infrastructure. There is rapid infrastructural development, aggressive one across Benue State. So that is why we want this thing to be the party to assist the Mr. President to put an end to this crisis so that the governor can concentrate and continue delivering good governance that he is delivering to the good people of Benue State.
As it stands today, with all of the things that you know as a party man and an insider, is it correct to say the governor is still in charge of the party? Because in Nigeria, the governor is the de facto leader of the party at the state level. So is Governor Alias still the leader of the party in Benue State?
That is why that's exactly what we have been saying. In Nigeria and under our party politics, governors are the leaders of the party. And that is where this problem is coming from. Governor not being recognized, the party leadership going out, taking decisions without consulting the governor. But today I'm happy that there is a unity caretaker committee that has input from the governor and input from the SGF. And we expect that this solves the problem. But if you ask everybody in Nigeria, and including myself, the governor is the leader of the party in Benue and is in firm control of the party.
There are people who are saying that one of the governor's concerns, which he is resolved to ensuring that he addresses, is that he is saying, by his action at least, that the Secretary of the Government of the Federation, Senator George Akume, cannot be in Abuja and be calling the shots over what happens in Benue, that he has been elected to do that job.
No, I don't think the governor has ever said that.
But some people say by his action, that's what he's saying, and that's why he's also putting measures in place.
You can interpret actions, but your interpretations are not absolute. They might not be true. What the governor is not looking for is not saying Akume should not have impute. He's a respected stakeholder, secretary to the government of the federation. He's respected, but he's not infallible. And this, let me tell you the truth. This crisis in Benue State is mostly caused by middlemen and overzealous loyalists.
Of both sides?
Particularly on the side of the SGF. Overzealous loyalists, they come, they do this, they do that. They put the governor at loggerheads with Akume. He's a complete gentleman, a Democrat himself, a former governor himself. But he should do more in not letting these loyalists continue to cause squabble between him and the governor in this state. It's not that the governor is saying don't, but there are ways his boys go about things that are not proper. Okay, like the case of the inauguration of the principal office of the House of Assembly, State Assembly, where this crisis started. You brought a list of who you want to be speaker without consulting the governor. Is it done anywhere? The governor is knowing of the list when we are coming out in public to present them. It's not done.
So who do we credit that to, Mr. Akume?
We credit to his overzealous loyalists.
But not without his knowledge and approval.
He might not have given most of the, like Akume might tell, go and meet the governors, do this and this. They will not meet. He's not there. He has people he trusted who should carry out this responsibility, but they are not doing them. That is the problem.
So has it come out to speak to these issues, to say, look, I'm taking responsibility. I asked for A, B, C to be done, but I have no idea how D, E, F were done. Because this is you speculating and maybe also trying to give soft landing to the SGF in a sense.
Okay, they have met severally, and from their meetings, we see them come out hugging and doing this, and tomorrow continue.
There's crisis again.
Because there are people who are benefiting from this crisis. That's the truth. A lot of people are millionaires added to what they have from this crisis. So they don't want the crisis to end. You see how the crisis, let me tell you where this crisis is going to. Like in the federal appointments, positions that are allotted to Benue, you see those people who claim to be his loyalists make sure that they block others. They get these appointments and they get their names on the list. You see why they don't want the crisis to end. It cuts off a large chunk of Benue people who suffered for the party because they want to remain there alone so that what comes from the federal, they enjoy it. So there is a lot of interest and shenanigans in this crisis too, which, to be fair to Senator Akume, might not be aware of. But there are shenanigans. There are people who are bent on fanning the embers of this crisis to make sure that there is no unity, to make sure that the governor and Akume doesn't work together for the benefit of Benue. And they are doing it because of their selfish interests.
This unity panel or committee that you mentioned a while ago has been set up, to which you said the governor made his inputs, recommended
Senator Akume also made
Akume also did the same. How effective has it been in terms of trying to unite aggrieved parties?
The terms of reference, the term of reference of this committee, caretaker committee of the party, 7-man caretaker committee, is to oversee the local government election, which is coming up on October 5th. And they have kick-started, they started selling forms on Wednesday, on Tuesday or so, and they are carrying out this responsibility to ensure, because with the crisis going on, Benue citizens were even confused. Benue APC members were confused. You don't know where to buy form from. The other faction will say we are selling from 300,000, 500. The other one will say they are selling 5 million. And you don't know where to buy from, and it becomes authentic. But with the coming of this Unity Caretaker Committee, people now have a clear direction, a clear direction on where to get original form, how to go about this local government election. And we are happy about that because we want to consolidate on the renewed hope of Mr. President, on the good effort of the governor to replicate good governance across the grassroots, to bring it closer to the people. And that is what this committee is doing. And that's why we don't want them to be distracted from this good job.
Interested parties and the power players in the party have gone to war now, in a sense, right? What exactly is the fate of Mr. Agada in Benue politics in general and the APC leadership in particular?
Mr. Agada is a progressive young man. He's from the same local government with me, and I have a tremendous respect for him. He rose through the ranks, a comrade to the core, but unfortunately he has not handled the issue of party very well in Benue State. Even from my place, that tells you why in his ward, the ward chairman will suspend him from party and have everybody signed to have him suspended. He's a young man, he still has the future ahead of him, but he is no longer the party chairman in Benue. And the earlier he accepts his fate, the better for him, politically. He's a good man, he's progressive ideals, intelligent.
Are you saying Agada should be the sacrificial lamb in order to restore stability to the APC?
The interest of the party and the development of Benue is bigger than any individual interest. No position is too big to be sacrificed to achieve peace in Benue. You know, what we are talking about is about the governor having a clear sense of direction and having an undisturbed tenure enough. He has started well. And with all these disturbances, it benefits some people individually, but the whole state is suffering. So if Agada I know him, he's a very good man. He's a progressive young man who can even say, I give up my position in the interest of peace and unity and development of Benue. And I think that is what has happened. Even though he can be aggrieved, he's a man. Everybody, when you feel things are going against you politically, you have the right to be aggrieved. And he has done the right thing by going to the court. But then I will urge him, he's my big brother, to accept his fate and look up to tomorrow. Who knows what he has at this age? He's just 40.
So in the final analysis, in the event that, like you have recommended here, Agada wakes up tomorrow morning and says, look, I'm giving up whatever it is as long as it serves the interest of my party and puts Benue continually on the path of progress and development. What else would you want the state to, the party at the state level to do in order to be perpetually stable, at least for the foreseeable future? Because it doesn't appear that Agada's, if you like, stepping back is the only solution or the one-off solution you are going to find in this problem.
Now, one, if he comes out to say, I give up in the interest of, he becomes the hero of the struggle. Secondly, 90% of the problem will be solved.
Just by that action?
90%. 90% of it will be solved. In fact, if not 98, 99 will be solved by Agada stepping aside.
But he has powerful party members behind him, doesn't he?
He has members. He has members.
When I'm saying members, I mean those who are powerful in the party, even beyond the state, behind him.
So
will they allow him step down? If he does, won't that impact?
That's why I say if he agrees to have the courage to think, to be patriotic enough, to think of the development of Benue, to think of the progress of the party, to think of the unity of the APC in the state, and says I'm stepping aside, he solves 98% of the problem. There will no longer be factions. And this faction do none of us any good. Agada is not doing you any good. Okay, now, you are not recognizing the state, you are not recognizing the federal. Where are you? The other day I said, are you going to open office in Akwanga and operate from there? You don't have a space in Makurdi, you don't have a space in Abuja. Where will you operate from?
Interesting.
The most honorable thing is for him to step aside. And I know people behind him, they are good people too. And like I said earlier, politics is a place where you come in, you try to find a comfortable space. There is a game of relevance. And I understand that these people want to be relevant. And there is a space, it's big enough in the party for everybody to come in at a round table and still have discussions on the best way to unite and integrate. I think we can do that in Benue APC.
Yeah, of course, because at least the governor needs that sense of serenity in his head to be able to continue to pursue developmental initiatives on behalf of his people. Thank you, Silvanus.
Thank you.
for taking our time to join us.
I appreciate it. Thank you for your time.
We're taking our last break on the program. When we return, Jumai and I will wrap it up for you on Global Morning. Do stay with us, everyone. Global Morning is your ultimate destination for engaging political and economic matters. I am Uyi Agmofrebe.
And don't forget to include social discussions. Tune in every weekdays from 7 a.m. to 10 a.m. I am Queen Agaba.
For insightful breakfast ideas, business summaries, sports highlights, international and local news perspective, I am Anthony Momodu.
Don't miss the in-depth analysis of current and political issues by the Global Morning team and experts. I am Jumai Manson.
Catch Global Morning here on Global Television. Getting on the action. I am Edikan Michael.
We are
the Global Morning team.
Global Morning is your ultimate destination for engaging political and economic matters. I am Uyi Agmofrebe.
And don't forget to include social discussions. Tune in every weekdays from 7 a.m. to 10 a.m. I am Queen Agaba.
For insightful breakfast ideas, business summaries, sports highlights, international and local news perspective, I am Anthony Momodu.
Don't miss the in-depth analysis of current and political issues by the Global Morning team and experts. I am Jumai Manson.
Catch Global Morning here on Global Television. Getting on the action. I am Edikan Michael.
We are
the Global Morning team.